Yo,
Okay, so we should be live.
we are indeed.
We are
Well,
live.
according to this anyway.
Okay, just gonna double check myself. Okay, so we are live. Yes, we are. Okay, so people, this is mainly for Spotify and YouTube. These are videos that will be uploaded later on. My name's Buck. I'm from Buck's, obviously Buck's Paranormal Podcasts. Um, my name's actually Dale. You lot might know me from a previous team I was in called Fright Night Investigators of the Paranormal. I'm just going to leave it 30 seconds or so, see if anyone does jump on, because we are also live on Facebook. So for people on Spotify and YouTube, I do apologise for there's not much going on for the next minute. Just seeing if anyone does jump on. And people watching on Facebook, if you can hear us, please just comment. Type a dot or anything, just let us know. The comments should show on the screen as well.
Tell you what I'll do. Where's our group chat? There you go.
Oh, I forgot to message the group as well. There you go. So yeah, I can see that popping up on the top. So there's 2 people on there right now. If you can just type a dot or a low or anything in the comments, just so we know that it's all working fine. Again, this is being pre-recorded for Spotify. Not pre-recorded, sorry, it's being recorded live on Facebook, but also pre-recorded for Spotify and YouTube. Hello, Amanda. Okay, there we go. So we're live.
Hello, Mum.
So yeah, hello, Mum. Not Mum, but Rick's Mum. Okay, we'll start it off. So I'm Dale, Buck from Buck's Paranormal Podcast. I'm on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook. I am on TikTok as well. I believe that's one. Yeah, I'm not very good with social media, so there we go. I'm on all of those anyway. This is Ricky.
Oh,
Ricky, if you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself and what first got you into the paranormal world, and yeah, just a brief description really of yourself. Let these people know who you are. We
well,
won't. Before you start, though, I will say, obviously, we've spoken about this before they're live. You were in a previous team. We won't say who you were with. Let's see if people watching, other than your mum, so Amanda, don't talk. Other than your mum, let's see if people watching recognises you from a previous team. So
okay.
tell us a bit about
Yeah.
yourself, Rick.
I'll get straight in on the topic of the podcast. You know what I mean? It's paranormal. So specifically, on a paranormal level, I got into it through Mom, basically. Mom
I
is
never knew that. I never knew that.
Mom's a massive paranormal enthusiast. Um,
Okay.
so it comes from the early days of Most Haunted, right?
Yeah.
So when they did all the live events, we'd obviously sit and watch them. Mom would watch it on a weekly basis when they did the
Which
recorded
just,
episodes and such.
I'm sorry, I'm one of these that jumps in at all sorts of moments. But
That's all right.
just for you Americans, I know there's a lot of people that are American on our page. Most Haunted is like the daddy to the Ghost Adventures over there. So we started it off as usual. You guys copied, but let's leave that there. But yeah, Most Haunted was like the main paranormal thing that kind of grew a lot of interest, let's say, into the paranormal
Yeah, it
world of
kick-started a
investigating.
lot of things, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
But other than that, it was just a case of I can't remember the exact sort of I can't remember the event, but I'd been on. I can tell you where it was. I'd been on a paranormal investigation. I think it was with Dark Side Paranormal, and it was Drakelow Tunnels.
One place I always wanted to go.
And then sort of from there, everything just kind of went, well, okay, maybe I'll try a few events and we'll see. And then it kind of just grew and grew and grew from there until obviously we had or started 18.
Yeah, so that's going from like your let's say what going from like an investigation and an investigator type of vibe from it. But is there anything like from your younger years that got you into the paranormal, or was it just more recently, more so over the last couple of years?
Well,
Would you say?
if you consider the fact that most haunted really started, and I'm going back a few years now, I'm like 11, 12, 13 sort of thing.
Hello, Donald.
That's some 26 years ago.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
consider 11, 12, 13 to be a young lad. So for this, 11 to 13 is I think is considered young.
got you. So
Um,
I'm probably forgetting my age there as well. Then, so your first investigation when you mentioned Drakelow tunnels, was that back then? Was that like 13 years ago? That's
no,
nothing.
when would that have been? It was probably it was probably before Paige was born. Paige being my oldest daughter, and she's 13 now. So I'd like to say that
No way.
maybe 14, 15 years ago.
So you've been doing this longer than me, then a lot longer than me, really. Because for me,
On and off,
my
yeah.
I've always been into like paranormal and like I've always been curious about things and everyone's seeing things out the corner of their eyes and all that sort of stuff. But for me, investigation wise and joining a team, it was more just before COVID. So you're talking like 2020,
Mm.
2019 for me. So you've done a lot more than me really, in regards to going to places. Let's say.
Only on and off. Like as a,
Mm.
I say, when I did it more frequently, it was around the the COVID time anyway. So
15 year ago, your mum says.
yeah, it would have been probably about 15 years ago.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
That was specifically for Drakelow tunnels.
So
Um,
going there, sorry,
go on.
carry on.
Okay, yeah, very very little minute sort of little known thing about me. I class myself as weird anyway. I have a hobby which we'll get into later, which is maybe a little bit unusual. Nothing dodgy,
Yeah.
but maybe a bit unusual. We'll talk about
50%,
it later.
50% off, 50% off at Ann Summers. Let's just say that, and we'll speak about that later on. But
But
we'll carry.
um, I used to talk to myself as a young age. Now, the story was that, and this is how my brother come along apparently, is that I was on the back yard at our home in Pensnet at the time, and I was talking to myself, and apparently my dad, as he is, felt sorry for me and said, "Right, let's sort of, get him somebody to hang around with," and then my brother come along. But as things have gone on, funnily enough,
Hey, you can't carry that conversation on straight there. Hang
hang,
on, your dad felt sorry for you, so he
well, it happened
created a
once.
younger brother.
It happened once. Yeah. And anyway,
Well,
the
it worked.
point I'm trying to make is that I was talking to myself, and as time has gone on, and we'll just say paranormal things escalating, you kind of develop
Yeah,
like a sixth sense, don't you? Well, sixth sense is probably a really loose and bad terminology for it, but you pick up things, you hear things, etc., etc., etc. And Mum used to think I was actually talking to either spirit or sort of spirit guide, or you know what I
yeah.
mean.
You may have
Whether
been.
it was, I don't know. You know what I mean. It's impossible to say. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much how it got into. I
Okay.
have not recently actually. Since focusing on other things, it hasn't happened as much. But I used to see a lot of the time people's auras, which again, if we wanted to get into it, I could give a little bit of a description of what it is I actually saw. I used to think there was something wrong with my eyes, and I just
Okay.
ignored it because I could see everything okay. It was just that there was a bit of a colour around everybody, and sometimes the colour would change or it'd be stronger and weaker depending on many different factors. But I used to see them quite regular,
Okay.
and I saw them more when I was properly investigating and etc. But very, very recently, I don't see many at all. But when I do, they are as prominent as they used to be.
Okay, so that's kind of jumping into a question I was going to ask a bit later on. So, in regards to like auras and stuff like that, a lot of people blend that into like more of a mediumship type of thing, or not necessarily an ability or nothing like that, but normally when you speak to mediums and people that are well known and do these public things, and they do talk about auras in particular. So
Hmm.
there's one thing that happened to me recently. Now I've been like when you mention auras, just for people that don't realise, it's like a colour around the person, right?
Yeah.
There's some sort of colour, like a light, and could be a white light, green light, whatever. Yeah, and the different colours are meant to represent different things to their aura. And is it like their abilities or something like that that it's supposed to represent?
See,
Are you aware?
when talking about mediums, etc., I wouldn't necessarily say, "Oh, ability."
Hmm.
And if you were to ask me what I think a medium is, I would probably tell you that to be a medium, this is what I think you can do as a medium,
Yeah.
which probably is a little bit more than what it actually is.
Okay.
Or if I'm looking for a medium, this is what I'd like them to do. And I don't think I've properly met one um, that is as clear and concise as I want them to be. And
Okay. So
maybe maybe that's a poor judgment on my behalf, but it's just my opinion. You know what I mean? Like
no, that's fair, and
if a
we will
medium
jump into that.
is
We will jump into that more
yeah,
so, later down the line, because obviously it's a big topic. It's like what 50% of the paranormal world, like what people talk about mediums and they talk about spirits, right? So it is
well,
like
it's
the main part of it, really. Going back to the aura type of thing. So recently, like literally, I'm talking like the last 2 weeks. I've been on my iPad, right, and I've been looking at pictures, just
mm,
scrolling through, and I've seen pictures of random people, and I've noticed a light around them.
yep,
Gone to my phone, like maybe a couple of hours later, scrolling through. You see the same news feed, don't you? Like you can catch
yeah,
it up
yeah.
and all that, and there's no light around them. So, do you believe that that's an aura that I'm kind of seeing there? Can it be on the picture? Can it be on the iPad? Or is it literally when you're face to face with someone, you see that aura? Do you believe it
I've
can be a picture? Sorry.
I've always seen it face to face.
Okay.
I've always seen it. If I was sat in your front room with you now, and let's say I'm going to use the word attuned, and it's probably loosely used, but let's say I was attuned, and if we want to call it an ability, let's say that ability was switched on and it was prominently showing itself to me, I would see your aura. I have
Okay.
never took a photo and looked at the photo and seen an aura on photo, and I've never captured auras on any photo either. It's always been a sort of a naked eye sort of thing. You know what I mean?
I mean, obviously, without speaking to, let's say mediums as such, people that are really clued up on that, I'm the opposite. I've never seen it around a person, but I've
Mm.
seen it on photos and like I said, like I mentioned then, just scrolling through the iPad and whatever, like seeing different pictures. But could that actually be there, or is it just me? I don't know. I can't say. It's just something that you mentioning auras, I've randomly thought of and thought, well, actually, I do remember last week I was scrolling through there and I saw that big green light around him. But then I remember an hour later, I was sitting on the toilet scrolling through my phone, and that light wasn't there. So was I just imagining it? Was it there? Can it be on there? You know, hello, Val. Nice to see you. Been a long time. Val used to follow us a lot on from the day one from Friday nights, by the way. You can see the
Mm.
comments there. So Val is good. Um, but yeah, I mean, Is there anything more you want to say on like that subject in particular?
Well, if you're on the toilet looking at tourism, concentrating at least, didn't you?
Well, we're looking at something.
But
Back in the day, you used to
again,
look at the back of the blue spots,
I
didn't you?
I didn't necessarily understand what I was seeing at the time. I've actually recently learned I've actually got astigmatism in my eyes anyway, which is, when you, for example, late at night and you're driving around and you look at the traffic lights and there's like a line of the same colour going through it.
I read about that. Yeah,
Supposedly that's what the astigmatism does, but
it's supposed to be
I've seen,
50-50, isn't
I've
it?
seen that all my life as well.
There's supposed to be. I do remember you mentioning that. I remember reading something about that a few months ago, and apparently it's like half and half of the population. Some people
Yeah,
see it, some people don't. So it is literally. You mean like the beaming shot out lights, don't you? Street
yeah.
lights, might be. Yeah,
I'm one of the 50%. Well,
yeah.
I'm going to be one of the 50% that do or don't. It's a yes or no thing, isn't it? You either do or you don't. There's no ifs, ands, buts, or maybes.
That's it. But yeah, going on further. Obviously, we spoke about myself. I'm from Fright Night previously. Um, I am with a new team now, Amanda's Paranormal Haven. We will be going out together at some point very soon. Ricky, most people that followed you from, let's say, the Fright Night side of things will know you from the Black Country Paranutters,
Yep.
which overnight, boom, changed to Amanda's Paranormal Haven. Now, a lot of people may be wondering why, because nothing was ever posted on the page or anything like that. Even myself, like before I realised what had happened, I was searching Paranutters and it weren't coming up. So obviously, Amanda's Paranormal Haven is your mum. She
Yep.
was always part of the Black Country Paranormals anyway.
Yep.
You previously you were kind of, let's say, the leader as such. Like you kind of ran the page and you were like
Well, I set it up for my mom
the top
anyway,
guy there.
and
But
mom just appointed me as top guy.
so I know there's never no malice or nothing like that because it's family anyway. But can
Yeah,
you
yeah.
explain why that kind of like changed and
I'm
what happened there?
so being honest, like, and this is hobby related now. Um,
I did say hello, Donna. I did say hello to you, didn't I?
and
I'm sure I did.
I think you did. I'm not
Listen back.
sure. I can't remember. First of all, hello everybody in chat. Not being ignorant, I'm just It's been a while since I've done the podcast, and usually
Yeah,
I'm
it's
the
been
one
a few
asking
years.
questions, not answering them.
That's copying my lines. Stop copying my lines, Ria. That's what I
It's,
say.
it is what it is.
True.
But um, maybe selfishly, I do a hobby which unfortunately has a time limit. Okay, and the older you get, you don't have much time to do it. So, without anybody knowing, we will get into it later. But I have this hobby, and this hobby at the
Told you.
moment
And
has maybe required my attention a little bit more. It was never that I was never interested in the paranormal anymore. I just had to.
yeah, that's true,
I
Donna.
just had
That
to
was your mum.
sort of. I had to move on to something else for a little bit. It's not that I'm walking away from paranormal at all. It's just a case of this is my concentration, and it won't be my concentration for a hell of a long period of time, or
Yeah.
until whenever end of life is, sort of thing.
Until
Because
you're in the Hall of Fame, let's say.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
I wish, or some sort of hall of fame. But yeah, that sort of kicked off a little bit more than I thought it was going to. We opened up a training school. And we'll just say that performances were getting bigger, and they
Yeah.
were getting more. So I've had to take a step back and go, right, I've got to do this for a bit, but I'm not like completely out of the picture, and I will come back in full time at some point. It's just I can't tell you when.
That's life, mate. That's life. That's the same with like say going back to Fright Nights again. You know, we at one point we were going live like 3, 4 times a night, not a night, but 3, 4 times a week,
Well, it was
different
three, four
locations.
times a night, depending on where you was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, that's very true, or not at all, as it may be. But yeah, we were live multiple times a week and traveling cross country. Obviously, you've got to go to these uh, unless you pay for a place itself, which yourself you're paying hundreds, thousands even sometimes for venues.
Yep.
You have to go around searching for abandoned places. Now, a lot of the time you rely on like urban explorers to reach out to you, and they do say, look, this place is creepy as hell. We felt this, we had these type of feelings, and they'd pass it on to us. Like we had quite a good few friends in that community, and they pass these on to us, and we go around searching them, and we're doing investigation. Until you investigate somewhere, you don't know if it's haunted or not. You know,
Can
your nan's
I
living room might be haunted. You don't know until you investigate it.
can I give a quick opinion on haunted, and just
Hmm.
a quick opinion on the paranormal world as it stands? So the
Yeah, go for it,
world
Monzo.
and everything in it is made up of matter. So it's
Hmm.
energy. And energy can't be destroyed. So you're made of matter, I'm made of matter. So my
Exactly.
whole living existence here as you see it is matter. However, when I pass, when I get cremated or put in a hole and become worm food, or whatever, and I'm not being morbid, it's just facts, right? I will
Yep.
be less than what I am now, but energy can't be destroyed. So that energy has to go
It's
somewhere,
always there. Yeah.
right? So that energy is always there, always.
Yeah.
So why can't I go and do an investigation in my front garden? Because there's energy from the past there,
Mate, you
or the
can.
bus stop up the
Exactly.
road, or
Exactly.
Nan's house, or I don't know. Let's just say, not that you'd want to, but the main road up
Yeah.
by High Oak. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
What I'm
You
saying
can.
is,
And until you
energy doesn't
investigate
go
it, you
anywhere.
don't know if anything's going to come up.
Energy
So
doesn't go anywhere.
exactly. So abandoned places and stuff like that, and like derelict buildings, they're the ideal place for like paranormal investigators to go to and check that out because it's safe. Well, it's not safe to do it, but
No,
you've got
no,
that
it's safe.
space. You've got that space to do it, rather than like you said there, going up the main road and yeah, you might get the same type of activity, but it's not safe. There's a public around there and all that, so you can't do what you need to do. But but yeah, no. So look, at Donna's just said there in the comments, till the coppers turn up, it's only me. So yeah, we did. I don't keep going back to it, but back in Friday, my previous, the only other previous team I've had, like so, we did like an old Victorian. I think it was like a school, like a boarding school sort of thing, and I'm going to feed the worms. You go for it, Val.
I'm not
And
sure. I'm probably just going to be put in a box and buried in the back garden.
wait a minute. But
I
yeah,
think
so
that's
we
the
was at
missus
this
is
like
planning
school,
for
this
me.
boarding school type of thing, and we was doing an investigation. We've been there before. Obviously, again, going back to it, like no one breaks into anywhere. You only go into open buildings, and obviously it's trespass if like the police come, sort of thing. So it's nothing legal really. And we was in this place.
Yes, but
Pretty,
trespass isn't necessarily illegal. It's a civil matter.
that's what I'm saying to you. So it's not like illegal. So they just tell you to like, move on your way, right? So we did
Where
this.
you get
I
your hand
think
slapped, don't you?
it was COVID time, so we shouldn't have been out like officially. Obviously, we know it's all bullshit now, but we shouldn't have been out at the time. And we went to this place we've been to before, an old Victorian type of boarding house, type of school, or whatever it may have been at the time. Um, I was in there doing investigation, and every time I speak, I feel like I'm jumping questions that I want to ask you later on, but I'm going to jump it anyway. So going into the para-unity type of thing, right? So para-unity is a big word which means fuck all nowadays. Let's put it
I got
frank.
my opinion on that and all. If you
Okay,
wanted,
so I'll ask you like a bit. So he's in there, right? And someone we know who it was. I'm not going to say no names, nothing. Reported us to the police. We always went live on Facebook. We went live from the get go, from travelling in the car, getting to the place, going in, doing the live, coming out, getting back in the car, going home. And we did that mainly because if anything did happen, we could prove that we didn't break nothing, didn't steal nothing, we didn't take nothing, you know. Everything was live on air, basically.
Yep.
And we was in this place, and someone must have rang. I'll say someone, we know it was. But someone rang the police saying that we had weapons, guns, and all sorts in there. The armed police turned up. This was like a 4-story, kind of like mad building. It had loads of different stairways and all sorts. And the armed police turned up, and all we heard was, "Get out of the building, we're letting the dogs in." I was like, shit. Obviously, the first thing you do is be quiet, turn your lights off, and let them think, you know, no one's actually in there. Next thing you know, the dogs are coming in, the dogs are coming in. 5 seconds later, I had a German Shepherd like on my arse, man.
I shouldn't laugh.
Yeah.
It's not funny, but if you can imagine, like, what are you doing in there? Oh,
Even Val, I think
we're
Val
looking
was
for
watching that
ghosts.
night. Val said that was funny. Don said the coppers turned up. It was only me. Yeah. And you imagine also, obviously people that used to watch Friday Night, we had a lot of haunted vessels. Ricky knows well. Tommy, we had a doll called Tommy.
Yeah,
And
enough said.
you imagine me coming down, a German Shepherd on my arse, copper with a gun at the bottom of the stairs, and me holding like a baby-shaped fucking Tommy doll in my hands. You know, it's like, whoa. It's only me, which is Tracy's catchline. But Jesus Christ. We had some mad stories for Fright Nights. Mad stories. Yeah, I went off track there. I forgot what we was even talking about. I was just replying to the comments to there.
we were
So,
talking about just general investigations, and obviously you being in COVID, and where you should or shouldn't be, and me saying that trespass is basically a civil matter,
it's a slap on the wrist, isn't it?
more so than a crime.
It's just not wrong. Yeah, exactly. Compared to like a lot of people that watch from America, that you know, obviously you get sent to prison for that, or shot, or whatever it may be.
But
All
yeah,
Memories Day, yeah, it
before
was
all
well.
of that,
It really was.
the reason I wouldn't say I didn't step away from paranormal, not properly. It was a case of I have to do this for a little bit. Yeah, we were talking about why Black Country Paranoid has changed overnight.
Yeah.
I think it was probably for the best for it to change anyway. In my opinion, because I couldn't commit to it fully. So I took a step back. There was no sort of malice behind it or anything like that. It was just a case of I need to do this for a bit. Mom is very supportive of what I do anyway. It was just a
Just to
case
say,
of
Mommy's Amanda Adley in the chat, guys. If you've not realised, she's the main one of Amanda's Paranormal Haven. If the name's not gave it away already.
well, yeah, it's a nothing thing more so than anything else. It was just there we go, we changed overnight.
No, that's fair enough. Fair enough. Right, let's jump on to the next one then. So there's a few questions I want to ask you. I've just put up there as well Q&A in the chat. So if anyone wants to ask Ricky anything, you know, type it in. We'll answer the questions. But for me, Ricky, the next one I want to ask you really is your dream location, whether it be in the UK or across the world. Where would you like to go, and what's the reasons behind that?
Dream loco. What a question. Alcatraz.
Okay. I'd love to go there. My brother's been there a few times. I'd love to go there.
Just Alcatraz. No particular reason. You know, no. This is what I want to do there. I've heard this. Nothing. It's as a place on its own. Then great, cool. Let's go.
Did you watch a lot of series or anything about it? Like that was on TV, the Alcatraz series or anything? Then have you watched any documentaries about it that made you want to pick that destination? Because something must have come into your head as to why that is a place you want to go to.
It is a secluded prison that has its own island, tons of history. I can't remember when it exactly stopped being a prison,
I can't remember now.
but
But what? America's the
with all that
1800s, isn't
history,
it? So It's got to be after that
with
time.
with with all of that history there, that you know what I mean. You're picking up on all
Yeah.
sorts of layers, levels, and everything. So yeah, Alcatraz
Okay.
prison.
Fairs, fairs. I think for me, worldwide, Alcatraz is definitely within the top three. My main one would be Waverly Hills Sanatorium, and that's just because of like, obviously, what we've watched ourselves on like Ghost Adventures and paranormal documentaries and all that. It just looks like a mad active place. So yeah, that's like one of mine. Jumping onto a more controversial type of question, going back into one that we spoke about briefly just now, mediumship. Do you believe in it?
Okay. So yes and no. And
Hey Jess, how's it going?
it's a con it is controversial. For
Hmm.
me, again, just me, I would expect a medium to pick up on everything all of the time when they're attuned to ability and they are, let's say, switched on.
Okay.
Okay, that doesn't mean I expect a medium to be badgered by ghosts
No,
24/7 and they
no,
live an
definitely not.
absolutely horrible life. No, that's not the case at all. It's
Hmm.
just a case of if you're in the zone and you're doing what you're doing, I expect it to sort of be like, yeah, this is what's happening at the moment, Rick, and you know, this is what I'm seeing. This is where it fails. Okay, what are you, Dale? You're a paranormal investigator, and so am I.
Hmm.
We both have certain, if you want to call them individual, if you want to call them abilities, we can. We both have abilities or learnt traits, whatever. Okay. But if you're a medium and you're telling me that you've got little Susie next to you and we have equipment that is tried and tested going off the other side of the room and
I'm
we
not picking
move
up
that
that.
equipment to where you are and it doesn't go off, basically, and I'm sorry for what I'm about to say, don't fucking bullshit me.
Hmm.
Okay. It is literally that sort of my approach. Now, if the
Yeah.
medium was to say, Rick, there's a young girl here, I'm getting an S name, I'm not entirely sure, but she is over in that corner. And then we move all the equipment there, and the fucking equipment's going off, and all that
Hmm.
sort of nonsense. You can kind of go, okay, there's something here. So we've got an S name. We're not entirely sure what it is. Maybe we can try and get something out of it. And
Yeah.
if later on the medium says, "Oh, I'm getting a Susan or something like that," and let's say Susie comes through on Estes method or something like that, you can kind of go, "Yeah, all right then. You're
You can't
legit.
you can't deny it, can you? You know what I
You
mean?
can't deny
Exactly.
that."
Yeah.
This is why paranormal investigators are important. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying mediums are fake. What
No.
I'm
I wouldn't.
saying is that the evidence the paranormal investigator gets has to match what the medium is saying, or what the medium is saying has to match what the paranormal investigator is getting.
Yeah.
Okay? Too many times, and you see it on a lot of lives and other teams. And again, I'm not name dropping. I don't need to. You will all see this. Okay. Equipment going off in the corner. Medium saying, "Oh, yeah, the energy over here." You move the
Hmm.
equipment and nothing happens. It happens too many times. And you can kind of go, yeah, well, the spirit's, the spirit is intelligent enough to just play around with you and maybe have a little bit of fun. And I'm thinking, okay,
No. Okay. Yeah.
all
No
right
problem.
then. I get it. Again, I'm not saying anybody's fake. I
No.
know a lot of great mediums. Some
Hmm.
mediums that have come to me haven't met me before and have picked up on certain things, and I've gone, okay, there is no possible way that you could know that. Okay. But again, digressing a little bit, mediums for me ought to be a particular sort of level, and maybe my level of medium is much higher than
And
anybody
what it
else's
should be,
level of
maybe. Yeah,
medium in
yeah,
this chat. You know what I'm?
yeah. Totally,
Again,
yeah. Totally get you.
it's
As I
not a
said,
swipe
it
at
was a
any medium, by
controversial
the way.
question. It was a controversial
It's
question
not a
because
swipe at any medium because
no, no, no.
obviously,
I respect that. And I totally agree. Before we move on to the next question, I'll just say my one line on that is that I believe out of the 100% of mediums and mediumships, medium people out there, whatever, I believe 99% of them are very good at a job. 1% is real. And going on to the next question, back to what we spoke about before, para-unity. What's para-unity mean to you, and does it exist anymore? Did it even exist in the first place?
para unity never existed ever. Okay,
Would you
we
cut you off there shortly though? Would you say it did before social media? Before there was lives, before there was Most Haunted, before there was investigation, well, not investigations, but let's say going back into the days of like Ed and Lorraine
You
Warren and
mean
all that.
before it was important about how
So
many
be,
people thought you was getting you off
exactly.
by everybody else?
We've got 4 people watching us right now, right? So
Yeah.
we've got no one to impress. Okay, I
No.
appreciate you guys watching. I'm not being that disheartening, but I'm just saying there's not 10,000 people watching that we've got to try and slag anyone else off with, or say we're better than anyone else. You know, it's para unity. This is just
So
a podcast. But like I'm talking about lives here. If that
so
makes any sense.
let's just be clear. I've got nobody to impress. I don't want to impress nobody. Right? We are all in it to do one thing, and that is prove that there is life or
Life
there
after
is
death.
something after death. Now the problem there is, can you imagine what happens when we prove it?
We're all out of a job, mate. We're
Exactly.
gone.
Right? That's it. Forget it
We're
now.
going to be proving that there was life
Everybody,
before death. Was there life before death? Let's prove that.
everybody is now a believer, and everybody now sings to the same hymn sheet, which then becomes boring. So we move on to the next thing
Yeah.
until we prove that, and so forth,
You
and
will
rinse and repeat.
you will never ever be able to prove there is life after death. I'll say
No.
that now. Even if I've got my phone here right in front, we're on the live together right now. My phone's here. A ghost pops its head in front of me. I've got it on camera. You've got it on the live. There's always going to be someone saying it's fake, it's AI or whatever.
And
You're
this is
never
the
going to be able to
issue.
prove it ever.
This is the issue, right?
As long as you can prove it to yourself, that's all that matters.
Team A will present some. Let's say that Team A has 40,000 followers, and they present evidence on the regular, and everybody's going, "Oh yeah, well done. That's real." And then you get Team B come along, and Team B has 40 followers, and they present their evidence. The evidence that Team B finds is just as captivating as Team A, but because Team B found it, Team A would go, "Ah, well, you see,
Yeah, it's
there's
bullshit. There
reason for
is.
that to be the light and the refraction from the sun 6,000 million miles away, which has beamed down on that little bit of a pool in the back of the photo there, and that's what's great." Fuck off.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, everybody's evidence needs to be looked into. Great. And I get it. Sometimes it's parabolia, sometimes
Paradiddle.
it is just light refraction and it just looks as it is. And I get it. And you need people to go, well, you know, it's I think it's this, I think it's that. First of all, if that's the case, don't shut that person's opinion down. Don't fucking
No,
call them out
just have
online.
your opinion. That's
Don't
it.
make everybody else feel, don't make everybody go against them and start doing the whole call this person out, them nonsense. They don't know what they're talking about, blah, blah, blah. Just go and prove yourself to be a wanker in front of all your people that are jerking you off. It really is. And
And
again,
that's
I'm
exactly it.
sorry about the way I'm putting things, but there's so much about power unity that just annoys the piss out of me. Like, honestly, it makes my piss boil.
There's
Again,
people I
sorry
like,
about
you
my
know.
language, but it's a sore topic. But no,
Like I say,
power unity
investigating with
does not
teams
exist.
and stuff like all over the last 4 or 5 years or whatever. I've got obviously a lot of respect for you guys, Paranutters, and the only other person, really, other than like the Friday Night team, really that I gelled with was I'd always big him up. But he's Russ, and I've only met him once.
Yeah.
Wednesbury
Russ,
Paranutters. I've only met him
Russ,
once, and he's like
and
he
Wednesday
seems like a top
Paranormal.
bloke.
Yep. Russ and that team and what they're doing with Haunted Exchange and everything.
Yeah, they're smashing it,
It's
isn't it?
great work.
Smashing
It's
it.
great work.
I'm
I
good.
won't
I'm
have a bad
definitely
thing.
going to join them on a few of those this year. Definitely.
I'm going to try as well. I've got a busy schedule. Well, again, we can mention that towards the end, but
My
I will
birthday
try it
in May.
myself.
I'm going to try and sort something there. But yeah, let's move on then. So, favourite most active place, location you've ever been to, and why?
That's difficult.
So far,
Most active place, and again, it depends how you catch it.
it depends how you catch it. So the most activity you've had, so not what you'd expect to have. So like, let's forget the House that Cries or whatever, or Waverley Hills, the big name places. The most active location you've been to. It could be your own living room, Rick. What's the thing that's made you, be like, wow, this shit has happened. Like, wow. Whether I got it on camera or not, this has happened. I think it's here.
I've got one experience then. One experience that really set the bar.
Amanda's
One
a brave one.
experience that really made me go, there's no explaining this shit.
Mhm.
St. Mark's Church.
I knew you'd say that.
Right.
Was that with me? Or
That was
before?
me and you, right?
Yeah, that was...
That was me and you. There was only me and you, and you cannot explain. And I'm not even talking about the event that was on camera. No. I'm talking about after the live. I'm talking about the
Yeah, that
walk
was
back to
weird.
the car. Nobody saw it. Nobody filmed it. We didn't film it. We didn't have any cameras running. But those bills went from being close proximity to everywhere in the
And
churchyard.
do you want to like give a bit of a? Obviously, you're more local to there than me. Do you want to give a bit of a brief explanation to people that are just watching now, wondering what the hell is St Mark's?
So basically, St Mark's Church is a church and churchyard. I think there's dated back to 1600s there, if I remember rightly. I will fact check it just in case. But we were in there, and we were getting. Let's be honest, we were getting nothing, right?
Yeah.
Zip, nothing, until we heard a bell ring. And we thought, oh, maybe it's somebody nearby messing around. And we did look. We actively looked, right? We didn't
Just to stop you
just.
there, Cathedral of St Mark's Church was begun in 1846, completed in September 1849. So it's not as old as what
So
that
it's
is.
1800s then. However,
18.
1800s. We still had
Definitely
quite the
Monday, yeah.
experience there, and it was for
Definitely
me. It
did.
was a case of where are these bells coming from? The more prominent experience did actually happen on live, and it was the bell that dropped right behind me, and we heard the
Yeah.
dropping sound because you heard the thud on the floor. I believe you jumped at me.
So Amanda's just said like they heard the bells on their live as well. So Amanda wasn't. It's like Ricky just said, it was just me and him at this churchyard, and we did like an investigation because there's a lot of known stories and like hauntings that have apparently happened there. So we did a bit of an investigation. Sorry to cut you off, Rick, but I'm just explaining
That's
to the
all right.
chat there. And
I think there were five. There were 5 bell rings caught on live,
yeah,
if I remember right. After
bearing
the
in mind
5th
we had no
one,
bells on us, nothing like that.
no,
I was holding the camera. Ricky, with both hands. Ricky was there in front of me, and it is mad. We had nothing for about 2 hours, did we? Really, other than the odd KT flicker,
but even
nothing other
then,
than
the
bells.
K2 flickers were barely anything either. It was like
Yeah,
we
that's what
could
I'm
kind
saying.
of
There's nothing
explain
really.
that, but it was these bells that was the most prominent sort of thing going, and it was only after we turned off the light for me that I was like,
Yeah, it
okay,
was. Yeah.
I think we heard maybe another 20 to
Oh
30 bell
shit!
rings.
Actually, yeah, you saying that didn't that happen? We weren't on live, was we? We weren't even live.
No,
Yeah.
we would literally go because I said
Shit.
to you, has somebody who watches Fright Night,
come up
just
there.
come to play up. But if that was the
Yeah.
case, they would have been watching us live, knowing that they were playing us up, and to find out exactly where we were and
Until
everything.
you've just said that in my head, I had it in my head that we was live, but we
We
wasn't.
weren't live.
We cut
We
off.
heard 20 to 30 bells on the way back up to
And
the
people that do investigations, you might realise yourselves, so especially for us, like back in the day, it was always the activity happened on your way out. Always as you was ready to go, it always happened. It was
well,
crazy.
yeah. That's probably the more prominent thing for me.
That is mental.
So that's what that very that single experience is what keeps me interested.
No, and now that I've just remembered again, like I say, the fact that we wasn't live, which for some mad reason for the last couple of years I've thought we were, but now that I've just remembered that we weren't. So I do
We
want to go
weren't
back again there,
we
definitely.
weren't live, Dale.
Have you ever been somewhere that you'd refuse to return to? Or not?
There is one place that I won't go to anymore.
Rick, do you mind just talking? I'll be literally 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
I'll
Just
answer that
carry
question.
on talking about that place.
Yeah, there is one place that I won't talk to, and it's it's quite silly actually, but just up from Russell's Hall Hospital. So I live in a town called Pensnet, and at the very top end of Pensnet, you've got Russell's Hall Hospital. Just up from Pensnet, where you've got you've got an island. If you go off to the left of the island, you can go towards Dudley. But if you go off towards the right, you go towards what Ollior. Just up Ollior, there's a little place which used to be like an old sort of minor shanty town. It was called Lowtown. I won't go back there. Too many, and maybe I don't know for anybody in chat. You can tell me if you want. When it comes to spirit children, it becomes a pretty upsetting topic for me. It's that's the one sort of thing that always gets to me. I don't mind hearing about how folk in the 20s, 30s, 40s passed away, or when you're speaking to supposedly speaking to spirit will say that are of that age, but when the story becomes about children or youth, it gets a little bit rough for me, and I don't know if that's because I've got two kids of my own now, but I can't go back to that particular place because there's too many stories of child spirit around there.
Apologies, someone's at my door.
That's
So,
all.
right. I feel like I missed out on loads now.
It's. I was only talking about Lowtown, which is up the road from Russell's Hall Hospital.
Oh, we went there, didn't we? Is
We
that
did,
where
yeah,
like the remains of the walls and stuff? Yeah.
yeah. I won't. I won't go back there.
Yeah, definitely. We didn't do a lot there, really, did we? Because I don't know what the reason was, but we didn't stay long.
It was basically child spirit. I struggle with child spirit.
And me. No,
I've
I'm the
got one
same
in.
on
I
the
got one
Estes
in the
method.
house. Mm.
Obviously, the Estes method talking about like my lights cut off.
We got a child spirit in the house, and every now and again I have to take a step back or completely ignore as it's been.
So I'm just gonna turn my main light on right there.
Aye, he's back.
Okay. In England, we call this a big light, so the big light is now on. Okay, so yeah, talking about like equipment that people use, Estes method, headset, and spirit board, and not spirit board, spirit box.
Spirit box
That's
and Esther's
my
method. I think that's one of my favourite methods. If I'm honest, it's one of my favourite pieces of equipment. Some of the stuff that you can get from there is fantastic.
yeah. That is a lot of things that is the one thing that people used to like watching me more so in my old team being on that because whenever I
You
talk about stuff,
you
I
paraphrase.
struggle to speak it.
See, but what you hear, you're literally repeating it
I
as in your
say,
ears.
yeah.
So
So if I
sometimes it
hear a
comes out
child,
quite.
if I hear a child, I speak in that child voice. If I hear a
Yeah.
girl, I speak in that girl voice. If I hear
It's,
like I've heard I've heard shit. I've been in different type of places across country. Things where like people were abused and all that, and I've heard the cries and stuff, and it's emotionally got to me.
Yep.
And I've cried on live streams before, like just from hearing that. It's as if someone's talking to me. I can't even explain it. I know it's like radio waves, and you hear just the odd voice and the odd word and all that, but I've been there with the headset on, blindfolded, and I've felt like I'm with that person. I can't even explain it. I mean, I'd never say I've got any ability or nothing for anything, but if I had any ability at all, it would be that I'm tuned into that.
Yep.
Yeah. What about you, equipment wise? Is there anything that like you enjoy the most or feel most connected to? Can use the most as such?
I I have an issue with spirit boards. You got to be able to trust the people on that board. And again, for me, spirit boards are always suggestive. You're always moving it yourself, whether you admit it, like whether you like me to say it or not. Someone is always moving the glass until that glass moves
Hmm.
with nobody touching it on its own, giving you words. I will always be a skeptic about them.
And you've got to be. That's a good thing about skeptics, isn't it? But at the same time, like, I've been on there with like just me and Tracy, and we've had mad things come out. I've not moved it. I'll trust Tracy 100%. Do you know what I mean? I don't believe she would have moved it. And it's things that have been said on that board where it's just been me and Tracy, where it's related to me.
Hmm.
Now I've not moved it, and it's stuff that she doesn't know about that have come out. So again,
Again, when it's like that,
I
though,
totally get the skepticism, but
when it's like that, it's good.
mm,
But again,
again, it's one of them things. Like I said about even if you caught a ghost on camera in front of you, you can't prove it. As much proof as you've got, you cannot prove it. Do you know what I mean?
I
There's
went
always
on a
going to be.
few. I went on a few paranormal investigations, and they were back-to-back investigations with a team. And there were two people in the team, and every time they got on that board, their granddad came through, and it was the odd,
Yeah,
"Were you proud of me?" and all that. Get
no.
it away a little bit, you know. It's fine. And another thing, I can't believe I'm going to say this now, but yes, it's great hearing from family. It really is. But I don't go to a location to necessarily hear about my granddad. I'd much rather hear about the spirits in that
Yeah,
location. If I want to speak to my granddad, I know exactly where to go.
I've done hundreds of boards, and I've never been on a board where it's been someone from my family. I don't believe anyway.
Normally,
If it's happened, it's been once maybe, but yeah, never been nothing like that. So yeah, I don't know. The boards come type of skepticism as what like mediums, I guess.
well,
You can
you,
never
you get the
prove
old,
it. Yeah, it's. I
you
mean,
get
with
everybody
equipment
saying,
like
"Oh, you
the
shouldn't."
K2s, yeah, you know what I mean, K2s, EVPs, and all that. That is proof, really, because it's
Yeah,
there in front of you. It's happening. But like people telling
I
you
like the
something's
ones that
happened
say,
or someone could be moving something, you can
I
never
like the
prove it.
people that say you shouldn't use a spirit board or it opens up portals and stuff like that. Can we just calm down a little bit? It's no
Yeah,
more dangerous using a spirit board than it is actually physically standing there and calling out.
there you go.
They're all
That's one
methods of
thing me
communication.
that's one thing me and Trace always used to say. You know, you can use
Oh,
the spirit
you
board.
should
It's the
you should
same
close
as
it
just saying,
down properly,
look,
and you
I'm
should
here right
always
now.
say
I'm here right
goodbye.
now. Spirit, if you're with me now, can you push over my table there, please? That's the same as asking that to happen on the board. The only difference with the board, I suppose, is it could go to no. I suppose that's the only difference, really. But yeah, no, that's 100% right. That.
But again, my opinion, right?
Hmm. No, it's one of those where you can get into a can of like wormholes, can't you? You know, you can. I could
Yeah,
talk about it for hours, and I don't want to.
you can open a can of worms. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure if certain people heard us having this conversation, they would start saying stuff about me,
Mate, everyone will. Everyone will.
and
But
I welcome them to.
we're from Pinsnet and we don't give a fuck. So
We don't give two shits.
there you go. Okay, what else did I want? Does anyone in like the comments want to ask Ricky a question or anything? If anyone wants to say anything, let us know. We can ask him and we can, or even me, we can discuss it. Okay, what else do I want to ask you before we tie up? Is there, well, is there one, at least one experience that you still can't logically explain other than St. Mark's?
Yeah, this is at Graiseley. The master bedroom. The master bedroom bell rang. The
Was I there? Was
disconnected
that
bells.
before?
No, no. This was just this was
So I
a Black
don't
Country
remember that.
Power Nutters event. But me and Gemma were in the library study area. There was a team upstairs, and there were a team in the big room with the big table. Won't go into too much details. It wasn't the red room, but we had the history hunter there, Black Country history hunter there, and he was in the red room. So nobody was anywhere near the kitchen, and the master bedroom bell rang. We went to the kitchen. The master bedroom bell was still moving at the time, and they are disconnected
Yeah, I
bells.
was going to say that,
We
I've
double
seen them
checked them.
myself. I've seen them myself. There's nothing connected to them at all. Hey
So
Dean, how's it going?
again, that goes in the paranormal folder because I can't explain it. Most paranormal things you can't explain,
No,
even if you try.
no, I agree with that one. As for Graiseley, we were talking about it in the group chat earlier on, weren't we? About
Yeah.
potentially going back there very soon. I've only been there like twice myself, but I think you and your mum's been there like double figures, haven't you?
I think I've been there 12 times now.
That's mental. That is absolutely mental. And being as you've been there at this most haunted location, I'd expect you. I know you can never expect Spirit to come out and play it whenever you want it to, but I'd expect you to have some sort of repetitiveness in some parts. Has that happened to you?
Yes.
And what is that?
It's a spirit upstairs. Oh, Mom says I've been there 16 times. 16 times? I've been there a lot. I lose count of how many times I've
That
been
is
there.
a lot of times. I think I've been there about 3 times, 4 times maybe.
But there is something upstairs. It always happens when I'm around, and don't know why, but it always does. And again, I don't really understand it because it's linked to me. It's an event that's linked to me, and this spirit comes through every single time I'm there. For some reason, I don't know. I haven't been able to explain it. I've tried all sorts of equipment. I've tried the dowsing rods with it, and I've had different answers and everything else, and I can't carry that story any further or figure it out or solve it. It just happens. I don't even know what I'll do next time.
What actually happened? So you're saying like something's happened, but what?
If I'm being totally honest with you, it is something that I will talk to you about in person again because it is
Okay,
personal to me.
okay.
It's something I'll talk to you about in person. It's nothing I want to share online.
No, that's fair enough. I know when we were there together for the events, that one time, Alan had something personal come through on the board
Mhm.
for him, didn't he?
Yeah, we did.
So I think that is that is Alan is a part of Paranormal Amanda's Paranormal Haven, by the way. People that are watching and listening on Spotify, he's part of the team. So yeah, Alan had something very personal come through to him. Um,
And again, there was no way that anybody would have known
yeah,
that.
I mean,
So
I think that
again,
was the first time
boards are
I'd ever
good.
met Alan myself. Yeah.
Boards are good in places. It's heavily dependent on the day, who you're with, everything else.
No, I agree. Again, it's one of those that like I can say like when me and Tracy, just the two of us on the board, things came out. It wasn't me. I 100% trust Tracy, and things were coming out about me that Tracy never knew, that I would never speak about. So, it's a contradicting one, isn't it? Really, you can't. It's always going to be one of those that you can never prove, is it? I think no matter what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. So, what else did I want to ask you? Would you say you've ever captured any evidence that generally scared you afterwards? And has anything ever followed you back home? Not necessarily as in like an attachment spirit, but have you ever felt that like shit? I felt this there, and now I'm feeling it back at home, but not
I,
as heavy.
I can't remember the exact location. We were in Chester, and it was a manor. And I can tell you what I think I saw, and this is a tall figure, let's say 6'2", 6'3", sort of not trench coat, but a long coat, raggedy and sort of warm, and just a dark figure. I actually came out of the investigation just for that, just for me to have a chill and a little bit of something to drink and something to eat. But I saw that figure for a further 4 to 5 weeks afterwards.
Like at the corner of your eye, or like generally in front of you?
No, as in like it's right in front of me. I could go for a walk, and it would be at the end of the street. And it was a
Daytime,
case
nighttime?
daytime, nighttime, whenever. I saw it for 5 weeks straight,
Okay, that's
maybe
mad.
3 or 4 times a day.
That's an ability then. That's not just
Um,
like, yeah.
is it though? Because I haven't seen it since.
Mate,
I haven't had any
who
cleansing
else
done.
sees a tall dark figure in front of
I
him in the daytime?
I haven't had any cleansing done. I haven't had any healing done or anything like that. It just disappeared after about four or
Were
five
your
weeks.
senses opened up then? Did something happen? Perhaps something was happening in your life at that time? I don't know. I'm not clued up on that sort of
I,
stuff, but
I couldn't tell you, but for about 5 weeks I saw it. And here was the weirdest thing about it. If I took a step towards it, it'd step back. If I took a step back, it would take a step towards. That's how prominent I saw it.
so
I
just a
never
tall
saw
dark
its
figure.
face. Just a tall, dark figure.
Okay.
I haven't got no more information for you on it or nothing. It's
I've not got like the
That's it.
yeah. I've got something similar on my phone which I've caught in the
It's
past, but
probably the most it's probably the least interesting story you have
you're
ever heard.
talking kind of like what do they call them? Like Slender Man, Shadow Face, No Face, sort of thing, like that sort of vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that, but you didn't see the legs because it was blatantly wearing a jacket. The jacket would sort of flare out at the bottom, sort of thing.
So that being like the Slender Man and Mr. No Face,
Yeah,
commonly spotted in like Cannock Chase, like local to us. That's quite a common thing. It's like black-eyed children all across the world. Everyone spotted the black-eyed children. That's
yeah.
another like quite popular thing. So totally believe you on that one. Um, yeah. Nathan Phillips Sale, did you ever get hold of them? Yes, Nathan, I did message him. Um, I spoke to my team about it. Ricky, what I spoke to you about earlier on.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely looking into it, mate, and it's going to be a good one. Yeah, I'm not going to say too much on the live because obviously it's confidential. So Rick, there's two more questions I want to ask you before we go.
Go on.
Do you believe that the mind can attract or amplify activity? So if you're on an investigation, do you believe that your mind plays 50% or so of the activity that you find or feel that you find?
I'm going to give you a quick answer because if we actually go into this, we could be here
Right,
for
sure.
another 2 hours. Your well-being as a person is heavily dependent on what happens in investigations. This is why, when you do investigations, first of all, don't be tired. Right? If you go to investigations tired, your mind will sink into places of you're not processing what you're seeing properly. You're not, you know what I mean. You're not taking in the environment properly. Your mind will play
That being the
into
same as like if you wake up in the middle of the night, just go into the toilet, all of a sudden you see something out the corner of your eye in the living room. There's no point
exactly
motivating you.
because you're not fully alert.
You're not fully awake for it.
You need to go on investigations fully alert, fully awake, and well fed. You need to be as ready to go as you are by midday every day. Um, I always take a nap or for an hour or two if I know I'm going on an investigation because you don't know what you're going to be up to. You don't know where you're going.
No.
Your mental well being gets tested. It's
Always
part of the
affects me
reason.
afterwards.
It's part of the reason why I want to try a really dangerous experiment, and I'm going to need a week off work to do it.
Right, what's that?
And it's basically to not sleep
For a week,
for about 72 hours.
I've done it for
You
about 48.
the less sleep that you get, the longer you are awake consecutively without any rest, without any sleep or anything like that, you start to hallucinate. You start
Yeah,
seeing things. They did tests like this in World War Two loads of times. People just went insane.
I've done it for about
I,
48 hours, just over.
I'm risking going insane just to see if something happens.
I did for like 48 hours, just over, and I think I must have slept for about 30 hours afterwards. It was the best sleep I've ever had.
I've seen something in chat, Dale.
Uh, it is what it is. I can't delete that. Nathan, please don't write stuff like that, please.
Um,
Is the chat gone now on there?
it's gone from public,
Not on the page.
but it's gone from on the screen. That I can still see it in chat. Nathan, what I will say is,
It's all right. It's all right. It's gone now. Just
yeah,
Rick, just please, just don't speak about that one.
I won't read too
This
much
is
into
something
that
I've got
one.
going on in the background as well. So yeah, Nathan, it's called. Message me privately, please. Just 'cause this is live. I don't know if you're aware, but this is live at the moment, and obviously I'm still speaking to those people as well. Cheers, mate. You've done nothing wrong. It's just it's obviously live on air. Okay. Last question, then, Rick. Let's just dive into it. You're an investigator, so believe in life after death. Obviously, that's what we search for. But what do you personally believe happens after you die? So you obviously believe in spirits and all that, and life after death.
This is all I can confirm to you. You will pass on. Your physical body, your vessel, if you will perish. It will degrade. It'll go. Your soul, your energy, whatever you want to call it, doesn't perish. It doesn't go anywhere. Your energy remains. So therefore, if you're and this isn't even a unfinished business thing, okay? Right. You pass on, your energy remains. You can't dispel energy, you can't get rid of it. It's always going to be there. And sometimes I just think energy levels are powerful enough to remain and have a influence on the living world or affect the living world. So to answer the question, yes, I believe in it.
Do you believe you'd have like, let's say you pass on? Do you believe you have a choice of like, do you want to kind of like stay with your family around you, or or do you have the choice of like going to heaven as such, in
No,
terms, or
I'm going to answer this in a I'm sorry if what I'm about to say confuses anybody or even offends anybody. But Dale, you don't have family. I don't have family. None of us have family, right? Your vessel has family. Your outer shell has family. It's your mom, your dad, everybody else. Your physical energy doesn't have family. I believe you die, your energy goes to a place. I'm not going to say heaven either. Please understand, I'm not trying to confuse anybody. I'm not trying to influence
And
anybody.
you
This is
see them
my
again,
personal
right?
belief.
Yeah.
Right? You will go off to this place, and there is an energy there that will go, right then, Rick. Let's just use my name as an example. Um, I sent you to learn these lessons, and you didn't quite learn them, or there's something that I want you to go back and learn. So what will happen then is that energy kind of gets recycled, and you live a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh life, whatever. I truly, truly believe in reincarnation, right? And there are many supporting factors about this, and there are many supporting factors that are against this as well. And I'm not
Okay.
trying to say you should believe what I'm saying. I'm just saying this is what I believe. I don't necessarily want you all to believe it. I'm saying have your own opinion.
Yeah.
But I, as far as I'm aware, and again, this is talking to certain mediums, this is probably Sharon Barker's just said a good point, deja vu. Um, this is probably my fourth or fifth life.
Okay. So for me, on my side of it, I believe firstly, people that say, "Oh, there's no life after death" and all this, I think you're living life wrong. Whether it's true, whether it's not, believe there's something else after life. Uh, Otherwise, what's the point in living? Do you know what I mean? You're living for nothing. Believe there's something else afterwards.
Put it this way,
So
you can't tell me that you live one life. Now, think about this for a minute. What actually happens after you die? You can't just tell me it's black screen or you just, it's nothing
no,
afterwards. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, there's got to be something.
we're talking about like I think all the old the older people are like in hospitals and all that, and they're just passing, and they talk about they can see like mom or they can see dad and all that. That. There's got to be more to that than just remembering like past loved ones. Do you know what I mean? I can see them by the light and whatever over there, and he's over there with my dog and whatever. People like spoke about that on their deathbeds, like literally dying. So I believe, like you said, like it's an energy, and you're not your physical self, your physical form. But at the same time, when we're catching, when like paranormal investigators and like there's evidence in over the last how many hundred years or whatever, you're catching pictures of people in Victorian dresses and all that, and people from that day and age. How can you say it's not the physical? Do you know what I mean? It can't just be an energy. It's got to be that person there and then. I'm babbling on here because my mind's like
How
in
about
overdrive.
if how about
You get
if
what I'm saying?
energy? How about if then? Let me offer you something to think about. How about if an energy wanted to show itself to you in a certain way?
Yes, which it can do, which like a lot of
Let me
malevolent
ask you
spirits and all
another
that as well.
question.
Right? Yeah.
Have you ever seen a dinosaur?
Yes, I have. I used to collect dinosaurs, the
No,
magazines
no.
when I was in the
I mean,
90s. So.
have you seen a spirit of a dinosaur? Have you had a spirit of a dinosaur come through?
No,
To
but I
my
believe they do
knowledge,
exist.
nobody has, right?
No.
And I'm not saying that dinosaurs never existed, they obviously did, right? But what I'm saying is that energy is
Yeah.
constantly evolving, changing,
Mhm.
whatever. I'm not saying at some point I used to be a T
It's a
Rex.
valid
I'd
point.
love to have been a T Rex, but you know,
People
it,
say no. That's a very valid point. People say they see their dogs walking past and they hear the dog's footsteps in the background after they passed. So if you can hear that, why can't you hear the dinosaur? I get what you're saying. It's a totally realistic question to
if you
ask. Like,
take if you take stone tape theory into account here, and silica being a big part of it, and we know that silica is a everyday um substance. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
everywhere. It's in water. It is everywhere, right? And taking stone tape theory, it's not difficult to see. or believe that at some point somebody picked up on a dinosaur, saw the spirit of a dinosaur, but I'm talking this would have been centuries, millions of years ago.
Hmm.
Energy over time would probably evolve. So chances of seeing a spirit dinosaur now are nil. I don't think you're ever going to see that because your
Exactly.
energy is constantly evolving with the times. At some point, maybe things will recycle and we'll go back to being dinosaurs. I don't know. I can't answer the
And
question.
this is exactly what this podcast is all about, you know. Spirits in
Well,
Gransley Hall, old ladies walking past us to dinosaurs in the hallway. So yeah, carry on. Please come on, what's this next
here's a
one then?
fact. I am only on this planet for somewhere between 39 years to whenever I pass. I say that because I'm 39 now. So my lifespan is somewhere between 39 and whichever age I'm at when I pass. So in that 39 to let's say 80 years, I've only seen a fraction, and not even a fraction. I've
Hmm.
seen like a point recurring 0.1 of what the world is or has been or
Not
whatever
even
this
close to that.
dimension is. There's loads of we're talking about something really really big here that you can't actually physically talk about in the space of a small podcast, and I'm only
Well,
experiencing a part of it.
and on that note, I think that does give us something to talk about next time round.
It
Next
probably
time you
does.
next time you see Ricky on the podcast and people listening on Spotify, it will be with the rest of the team probably. So you'll be speaking to Amanda and the rest of the team there.
And you will have
But
all sorts of different views then.
yeah, yeah, a lot of different views, skeptics and all sorts. Well, Rick, before we go, there's something you want to speak about. Going back to the start of this podcast, Rick, do you want to build on from what you was on about back then?
Sharon Barker has asked a quick question, so I'm going to answer that
Oh,
first.
I can't see the
Do you
comments now. I've got rid of them.
do you think everyone has a time when they will die when they are born? So basically, are you saying when you're born, do you have an expiry date? The answer to that question is yes, right?
Yeah.
Because here's something, right? I don't believe in fate, right? Because that means that somebody is massively in control of everything you do. But contrary to what I just said, everything is already written for me. Here's an example. I'm going to offer you two chocolates. You don't know what those chocolates are, but you've already made a choice.
I don't eat chocolate.
You already know which chocolate you're gonna take if I put both of them in front of you. If I say to you implicitly, here is a whisper and here is a Snickers, you have already made your choice. You're either going to go, well, actually, Rick, I'm quite greedy and I'll have both. And yes, that's your choice. That is a choice. But if I say you must have one, you have already chosen. Matrix theory, and I can't believe we'll touch on it very, very quickly. In the Matrix films, they tried to tell you that the main character had choice. That's wrong, right? Yeah, I'll be up in a minute, Jim. Yeah, I'm still alive. I'm just finishing up. At all. Okay. 2 seconds, I'll sort it.
Sorry, Joe, I
Um,
won't keep him much longer.
sorry about that. So basically, you don't have choice. You are going to make that decision, right? Your path is laid out for you. You don't know it. You might feel you have choice. You might go, um, yeah, I chose to do that. No, you didn't. That is what you were going to do. I truly, truly believe that. And yes, you could say, well, that's fate, Rick, but is it?
But
Truth
your
is,
mum said
you
like
don't know. You don't know what you're going to do. It's that simple.
your mum's comment was bang on there. To be fair, she said as soon as you're born, you start dying, and I think me in particular, a lot of us probably feel depressed and down and shit at times. But I think Amanda, you've knocked down the nail on the head there. If you live to like that motto, as soon as you're born, you start dying. Live with that in your head. and just live life to the fullest. Isn't it?
Well, put it this way, I'm an hour and 19 minutes closer to death than what I was when we started this podcast. So,
And I'm glad I was a part of that, Rick.
exactly.
Thank you.
But I'm glad everybody else was a part of it. I'm glad people have come in and actually took time
We're
to
all
listen
part
to
of
what we
Ricky's
said.
death and his demise, so
I know, it's
who's
great.
not happy about that? Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, thanks,
Been
Rick.
prolonging it in
Thanks for making us
places,
feel
but there
better
you
about
go.
it. But yeah,
But
if you want to, Rick, touch up
honestly,
on.
seriously, you were going to make that choice. You can't really call it fate. I don't believe fate is the right word. And if you say, "Oh, your fate is to do this," nobody can call that because no one knows what you're really going to do. You're going to make those choices, if you can call them choices, because nobody has a choice. You might get presented with situations where, "Hey, I'm giving you a choice to do this or this," but there was no choice. You were going to do one or the other. If you had 8 items in front of you, you were going to pick item number 6 or item number 7. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Again, it's one of them. We spoke about a lot of topics tonight, which we could have full-on bloody podcasts on each subject, really. Do you know what I mean? We've had to cut a lot of things short. But again, just to tie up, Rick, at the start of the podcast, you mentioned something about why you kind of gave up the name and the team Black Country Paranutters and passed it over to your mama, such like to Amanda's Paranormal Haven. What was the reason behind that?
So, here we go. That hobby that I spoke of. I am, for all intents and purposes, a professional wrestler. And yes, it's the stuff that you see on mainstream wrestling over in America, like WWE, etc., etc., etc. I have been doing this for 14 years.
Long time.
There are a lot of people that would say I'm good at it. I think I'm okay. But we have recently opened a school.
Did you have hair when you started, by the way?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Not much. It had already started going, but I did have hair. Um,
I remember you
I,
with long hair, man. That's why I
I
brought it up.
really, I really do enjoy wrestling as a hobby. We do monthly shows. I did 30. I did 30 shows last year and 36 matches. I say matches, 36 professional performances, if you will. And obviously, if you think about it, 30 shows, that's 30 days, that's 30 weekends, that's 30
And aren't
Saturdays.
you, or weren't you, like the champion of it? Like,
At the moment, I am the um, I'm the champion of my home promotion, which is Top Turnbuckle Wrestling. We do shows out of Purton Civic Centre, which is just outside of Wolverhampton and part of the Wolverhampton constituency. Our shows draw anywhere between 120 to our most recent one, which was just under 240 people. Some of the mad things that I've done. My last show, I actually wrestled against Les Battersby, and I'm
yeah,
saying Les
from
Battersby,
Corrie, the one from
Bruce
Corrie, folks.
Jones, the one from Coronation Street.
Full Monty.
I I wrestled him. When I say wrestled him, he's obviously 72. It was a performance. What he
Is
actually
he?
did, yeah, he's 72. He hit me in the head 30 odd times with a baking tray, and then I took a right hook off him. All I'm saying is, if you put a pair of boxing gloves on that man and get him to drink 10 Guinnesses, chances are he's going to knock you out. He did an hold back, and again, what we do is performance. When someone isn't a wrestler, they don't know the control that we do, and all of that sort of thing. So, unfortunately, the best thing to do to keep him safe and to keep myself safe was that he was going to wrestle me, and he worked with a few of the trusted guys in Top Turnbuckle Wrestling. And And yeah, unfortunately, I say unfortunately, it's not unfortunately because I really enjoy wrestling, and Mom understands that at the moment wrestling has to take more of a priority than everything else because I teach people, I coach, I'm training a lot of younger guys at the moment that are trying to get into the wrestling business and want to do it, and that's my focus at the moment.
And that's the reason why, obviously, you
Predominantly, yeah,
can't just step down. If you say it like a business term, you step down, basically. Like,
yeah,
yeah. But nothing's changed. Still, main part of the team. It's just your mum that's kind of like running the page, really, and
yeah,
taking the
and
reins.
and
Yeah.
to be fair, rightly so, because it was always Mom's to begin with, and Mom
Yeah.
is a bigger enthusiast than me. Don't get me wrong, I like the paranormal, I like doing the investigations, but really it was for Mom, and you know, it
I'm
it,
speaking to
it
mum
is just for Mom.
soon, actually, on the podcast.
But yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, and where can people get tickets and stuff from if they're local? Like,
So you can get tickets from Black Country T-shirts, actually. So the owner of Black Country T-shirts is actually a massive part of our show. Does all our poster work for us. He's part of the reason that I look so good on posters because he does all the effects things and everything like that. We have a great team behind us. It is literally a good family friendly night out for people. Um, if you want, I'll get details of our next show and you can do him
yeah,
a quick
share it on the
share
page,
for
man.
me. But I'll get those to you shortly, and you can add that later. But even if you're not a fan, again, it is a good family night out. Um, you get exactly what you expect.
Yeah,
If anybody was to say, "Oh, well, it's fake," I'm not going to defend it. I'm not going to try and say I'm tougher than anybody else. What you're seeing is actually happening.
yeah.
If something's fake, it suggests that what you're seeing isn't happening. What we do is professional stunt work without a safety net.
I always
Goes
say things
it
things
goes
can be
wrong.
things can be scripted, but you can't fakely break your arm. Do you know what I mean? Which happens quite a lot in the sport.
Or crack a few ribs,
Yeah,
or tear your hamstring, or tear your rotator cuff and dislocate your shoulder, and dislocate your clavicle, which is this part here. So
I was
yeah,
gonna say t-shirts, not t-shirts.
t-shirts, not t-shirts.
That's it. But now, thank you for joining us, Rick. We do
No
appreciate you
problem at
being
all.
on.
Thank you for having me.
We'll try and get you on. The next time you'll be on will actually be hopefully after the team have visited Graiseley, and we can
Yep.
talk about that. Maybe get the team on before that, but I mean, like you individually after that time. Everyone
I'll
listening on
message you
Spotify
after
and all
this,
that,
but
thank you.
because obviously the missus wants me to help her out with a game.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
just drop me a message.
I'm going to drop you a message. Maybe we can briefly talk about something. I think you know what I want to talk about.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's fine.
but yeah, thank you for having me, Dale. Anyway, I'm happy to do this whenever.
No, I appreciate it, man. So, look, when I first started the page, I did advertise that we'd be doing lives every week, but I've come to the conclusion that I'm only going to do lives for people that I know. So, for example, obviously I know you. This will be a live, so it is. That's what it is. It'll
It is
also
at
be
the
put up to
moment.
YouTube and Spotify. People that I've not spoken to will go forwards be a recorded podcast, which I'll post to YouTube, and then I'll invite them back at a later date to do a live stream for you guys to ask questions and whatever after that. I just don't want to take the risk of people saying some mad stuff on here. Yeah, I'll swear enough as it is, but yeah. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening
Thanks
to
for
on
everybody
Spotify,
coming in. I appreciate it.
and we shall see you all soon. Take care.
Thank you.